Good afternoon, this is Jeff of Sewer Tech Northwest. Back over here at 5430 Southeast Belmont Street here in Portland. I'm rerunning the camera through the line here. I've already scoped this thing. Line looks great. I'm just trying to give you a video here. Anyway, going to cast iron pipe right out of the gate. We're going into the backflow valve up against the foundation wall that the garage, or not the, is it the garage? Anyway, the main driveway goes out to. The line goes out to the side street, doesn't go out front. You have a teeny little driveway at the front of the house, front right corner. It's not that one. It's the larger driveway on the side. The line ends up routing underneath it. Anyhow, water's running. I zeroed out there at the base of the clean out. That Y-in right there, I've already checked into that. We also just swapped over the 3034 PVC pipe. That Y connection there is related to the storm system. Now we're into clay pipe. I've also located all this stuff too, and found that all the pipe on property here has been updated at this point. The clay pipe, the older stuff's out on the road. All right, we're gonna start rolling back into. The line's almost done draining. So out in the roadway here, you do have some pipe. There's some clay pipe here that have some fractures in it. You've also got some kind of offset, little bit wonky joints there in the PVC. They're not affecting functionality, but if you look right up ahead there, you've got some cracks in the top of the pipe. You've got a few of them in the clay here. Anyway, functionality is not being affected by any of them. You could always inform the city, but it's not the kind of spot there where I think the city's just going to jump on that and repair it. You know, it would be ideal to shoot a liner through that if you're trying to do it trenchlessly. This is more so for the city, but they often put this kind of stuff on a repair schedule, and they often will end up fixing it when they're doing another bigger street project, so they're killing two birds with one stone. Anyway, as it sits right now, the cracks are mostly a visual blemish and annoyance. They're really not doing anything to affect functionality. And by and large, they look pretty darn tight. That's also in city responsibility. Once again, that's not on the homeowner's property. It's out in the roadway. When I was out here the other day locating, if I recall off the top of my head, when I located that transition there, it wasn't just at the face of the curb. They had taken the update well into the street by, I want to say, 2 or 3 feet. So, which is an ideal thing. Those transition joints, anytime you have a material transition, especially new to old pipe, and even more so when you have different diameters, those joints are much weaker pipe joints to root intrusions coming through. So when you can position that transition joint beyond the curb, if it ever does happen, it's doing it in city territory. And roots can come through any pipe joint, but those are by far the most likely joints to have a root come through them. So we're actually getting a little, we still have a little bit of water trickling through here, coming behind the camera. Anyway, this Y connection right here, in the driveway, there is a clean out. There's a 4-inch, it's a flush set clean out cap. When I open that cap up and you look into it, what you're going to see is standing water, which is indicative of a storm system that ties into the sewer line. Anytime you have even a storm system connected into sewer, anywhere you have an opening, you're generally going to have a water trap to prevent sewer gas from venting. Man, I'm surprised there's any amount of water still running through this darn thing. I've had the water off for quite a while now. Last time I was out here, I got this thing to drain out bone dry. I don't know if there's a toilet flapper that's not shutting off all the way or something like that, but anyway, the line drains out beautifully. Last time I was out, I got the line to drain off 100%. That amount of all that water there is moving water. And I ran backwards last time I was out here too. I'm gonna run this as far back as I can. Where my camera hung up last time was right when we get back near the bathroom at the base of the basement stairs. It's kind of an awkward access point combined with there's some turns in the line that kind of hinder your ability to get all the way in the very back end of the line. If I recall, you've got some cast iron back in here. Once we get to the end of the line, yep, there it is. Yeah, I think this is where I ended up hanging. Oh, I got over it this time. Cool. I rammed my camera, that thing, over and over last time I was out here, and it just would not hop over it. So this right here is where the line is going vertical, and I'm not sure I'll be able to actually get it to look up into it at all. Anyway, what that is there, we're either at the base of a vent stack. You're going to have a big pipe that comes down out of the ceiling. We're either at the base of that, or if we could look all the way up into that, you'd be looking at the bottom of the toilet. I'm glad I got through that this time. Cast iron looks good there. And that little offset joint at the transition is no big deal whatsoever. The joint is sealed up, and we're going against flow right now, not with it. So when debris comes down the line, there's no lip for that to run into. That only happens when you're going backwards. That's a very, very common thing to have anytime you have cast iron meeting up with plastic pipe. For one, the pipe wall thicknesses between the two pipes are very different. Cast iron pipe walls can be, 3/4 of an inch thick, sometimes thicker at the bell ends, whereas ABS plastic is only about 1/4 inch or so thick. So you get some diameter difference just from that alone. That will often result in a little bit of a lip. Anyway, very nice looking sewer line end to end here. Clean as all get out. I mean, there is zero debris in this thing at all. You've got a couple areas there going backwards under the floor with some very minor standing water. It's all in the 1/16 to 1/4 inch realm. It's sporadic. It's not throughout. It's so minor it's not going on my report. That's not the kind of standing water we're looking for. Standing water at that level there has almost no bearing on functionality whatsoever. And about the only thing you could ever get to hang up in spots like that is very abusive items, big wads of paper towels, things like that. And those are just as likely to block in a spot like that as they are anywhere else in the line. So anyway, good flow end to end. All the ABS and PVC pipe, all the updated pipe looks great. And all the cast iron, the original piping, also in very nice condition. This line is held up beautifully. The stuff that's still in the ground from the inception of this house looks fantastic. There's no scale buildup in the cast iron, no wear in the flow line, nothing. Sewer line's functioning properly at this time.